r/AskReddit. People who have had friends stab you in the back, what is the story? Asked two of my friends if they wanted to live together in college. Then one of them asked another person in our friend group if he wanted to join in as well. Then they asked another, and another. And then once there were too many people for one apartment, they dropped me out of it. No longer friends with any of them. Was kinda a wake-up call though, because I definitely gave way too much of myself to those people, not knowing that I was the most expendable one. It really taught me not to put others on a pedestal and respect myself more, and has since led to me developing far more healthy relationships that bring me a lot of happiness. Same thing happened to me at uni. They all were viewing houses behind my back, telling me we were all still going to live together. I found out from a mutual friend that they had already found a house share and had plans to move in the next few weeks. Not a single one of them said sorry, not sure why they kept the lie up either, all it did was put me in an awkward position of trying to find a house last minute. It ended up okay though, there were a few people like me, the stragglers, who all got together and we ended up renting a beautiful newly refurbed 6-bed house. Never spoke to those guys again. Never will. Made plans to go see a movie with my friends for my 16th birthday and planned it weeks in advance. Everybody bailed the day before, but I decided to still go see the movie. Ran into my whole group of friends leaving the movie theater while buying popcorn. Damn, I feel for ya. I had my 17th birthday and invited my mates to go get a drink at a bar. Everyone accepted. But no one came. After a few hours of drinking alone and phones calls not getting picked up, I saw on Instagram that they were on a electro party having a good time. Apparently they were pre-gaming without me and spontaneously decided to go to this event and forgot about me. Everyone said sorry, but it still haunts me. Didn't celebrate my birthday ever since. Best friend stopped talking to me after my dad died. Took the whole friend group with him. Apparently I was too emotional. I was 13. Having my entire friend group walk away from me when I was in such a shitty place stuck with me forever. This was similar to my experience as well. I lost my father at 9 and all but one of my friends ditched because they didn't know how to deal with a person in grief. I'm still close with the friend that stayed 21 years later. Hope everything is going well now. Those are true friends. The ones that stay with you and have your back unconditionally when you are down in the dirt. The ones that see you in your weakest and most vulnerable state and are just there and help you get back on track unconditionally. Keep them, no matter what. And of course, be there for them in kind should the need ever arise. My mother told me she was sick of being with Dad. She told me a bunch of things he'd done which made her afraid of him. She asked me to tell a few of her close friends about how she was being treated, because she wanted them to understand why she was leaving. Then she decided to stay with him. So she told her friends that she had no idea what was wrong with me, but they should pray for me because it looked like I was going through something. My own mother stabbed me in the back. My father did this to me. Miserable marriage. Hated each other. He asked me if he could move in. Grudgingly agreed but made it clear I wouldn't be taking sides. Cleared out the spare room, ready to go, and next thing he doesn't know what I'm talking about and I must be experiencing mental issues. Both of them are out of my life now. I had one friend. I was bullied by everyone at elementary school. Because my friend would be bullied too when they hung out with me at school, we only played outside of school. One day a popular kid asked to play with me during recess. I was ecstatic. Until after a while they said, "You're not as bad as friend said you are." And that's how I learned why I was bullied. I relate! I had a whole group of friends in H's who, one day out of nowhere, turned against me, and brought the entire year group with them. No one spoke to me, were extremely cold for a good 6 months, I even got calls from one girl every day from a blocked number to kill myself. It wasn't until a group project started and the group said the exact same thing, "Wow, you're really not like how X and Y said you were." They never told me what was said, so to this day I have no idea what the hell happened there. This happened to a friend of mine. We were friends in middle school but then went to different high schools. We're nerds so we kind of expect abuse, but what he got there was vicious. I started dating a girl from his school, and upon finding out we were friends she said, "Why are you friends with him, he's a pedophile." Turns out he was actually not a pedophile, just gay. Someone spread this rumor as a hyperbole because he came on to her brother who's a year younger. People just abandoned all reason and chose to believe the delicious gossip. My husband and I, had a friend that we helped get back on his feet. Paid off some tickets he had. Got his license reinstated. Hooked him up with a solid connection for a reasonable, well-running car to replace his beater, and gave him a place to live and a job, automotive repair. He decided it was a better choice to tell all our customers we were overcharging them. Spoiler, we weren't, and he'd do the jobs cheaper if they'd bring it to him at his house. This was a short time after he moved out of our house, after never repaying anything he owed us. Not that we'd asked. Broke my heart. Honestly, this and past personal experience is why I don't really help people who have clearly burnt several bridges to success. I fucked the shit out of my own life, and generally was a bridge-burning piece of shit to anyone who tried to help me, and it always put me back where I started, with no appreciation. I appreciate what I have now more, especially since it wasn't just given to me and I have to sweat for it. I had one friend who honestly wasn't my favorite person because she was really manipulative, but I never said anything bad about her. I found out that she had been shit-talking me to all of our mutual friends and telling them all that I did horrible things that I never did. Ended up essentially being pushed out of that entire friend group, and it ruined a lot of my high school experience. Don't worry, the thing is with people like that, they don't change. She'll keep doing that to people, and eventually anyone around her long enough will see the pattern or be victim to it themselves. Her talking crap will bite her in the long run because it burns bridges and does so badly. I'm sorry your high school experience was ruined. High school is usually pretty terrible anyways though. Years ago when I did a health sciences undergraduate degree, most of the cohort was determined to get into medical school. Our medical school program mainly accepted students from only our competitive undergraduate course, due to subject prerequisites. We all knew each other and were friendly, hanging out together and forming study groups. Many of my friends were great, we shared tips, resources, practiced exams and interviews together. But there were a handful who really wanted to get into medical school, and since the program ranks applicants mainly based on undergraduate results, the better your friends perform, the lower your ranking is for selection. So near application time, some of us would head off to the university library to borrow out textbooks to find chapters or page numbers that the lecturer mentioned would be on the exam. And they would be ripped out. You'd go and find another library copy of the textbook, and that page would be ripped out too. All of them, totally removed in a hurry. I didn't believe that someone from our cohort did it, until interview practice began. Students began obtaining copies of the questions from previous years and lying when others asked if they had it. I saw someone give a terrible, awful interview answer and the other student would give them glowing feedback and inform them they should say that, word for word, during the interview. It was a shitshow and a lot of relationships fell apart, or were never the same again. I had a best friend that I knew for 16 years. She got pregnant and her parents tried to kick her out. Her parents wanted her to get an abortion but she refused. One of our HS friends told me someone should push her down a flight of stairs so she can miscarry. I told her that's a very bad idea and defended my best friend. The next day, the principal came by my class to ask me if I could attend a meeting about something important. If I didn't attend, I was going to be expelled. When I arrived to the meeting, our shared friend claimed I was going to shove my best friend down flights of stairs so she can miscarry. My best friend believed her. We stopped talking after that. Holy shit, that is heartbreaking, and I'm pissed off for you. Had a good bud of mine, who's the godfather of my son, living with me and my wife. I travel a lot for work, and was out of the country for about 6 months in the Middle East. Came back and found out she was pregnant, with twins, and that they weren't mine. Best friend for 8 years started sleeping with my girlfriend, later wife, a week after I introduced them. Took 6 years after my son was born to find out they would meet up a few times a month. Was a chance he wasn't mine. Luckily he is. How are there so many guys out here with the same story about their best friends? I'm so sorry. That kind of betrayal is worse than a spouse cheating with a rondo, because then at least you have your best friend's shoulder to cry on. A quiet girl I made friends with would only sit with me in class just so she can go snitch about me to my ex-friends. She would literally sit next to me for 1 or 2 classes randomly, then go sit with them later. I called her out on it after she came to sit next to me and told her, "Why do you even bother sitting with me, when we both know you're just trying to get shit to talk about me with them?" When I come back from the bathroom you better go sit somewhere else. I was usually very quiet and that was the first time I stood up for myself. I booked a table for 6 people to watch a sports event at a bar. I tell them so. All 5 friends say okay, we will be there. No one shows up or even has the decency call or text that they were not coming. Similar thing happened to me a couple years back. I hosted a little Halloween party at my place for 4 friends, and even though it was a month in the making, all of them flaked. I don't know about you, but that really took the wind out of my sails and I haven't hosted any get-togethers since. Sad face. Friend told me they weren't doing anything for their birthday. On the day of their birthday, photos appeared on Facebook of them out with the rest of our friends. They're not my friends anymore. I had a guy that I was kind of seeing. I was going to take him to a Japanese restaurant for his birthday. He told me he couldn't do dinner because he was having dinner with his family, so we went to breakfast instead. Later that day he posted about having dinner with his girlfriend. I hoped out of that situation real quick. Just completely ghosted him. Friend only listened to me to tell all of my secrets and spread rumors about me. Fun times. Sounds like my mom. Been very good friends for over 2 years. Their roommate moved out and they asked me if I want to move into their spare room. I was very happy to live with my good friends and I did everything I could to be the best roommate possible. After 3 weeks they found another source of income and kicked me out. First, they offered to help me find another accommodation, but the next day they changed their mind and just told me to leave by the end of the month. It was 7 days until the end of the month. They didn't spoke to me ever since. When we met somewhere in town they acted like they never seen me before. I have no fucking idea what I did wrong. In 7th grade she wrote a 10-page letter on all the reasons I should kill myself, and had all but one of my friends sign in agreement after I confided in her that I felt like something was wrong with me. Early undiagnosed depression, go figure. The day she gave it to me was arguably the worst day of my life at the point because my parents told my sister and I that they were considering divorce, and my grandmother died. Had a similar experience in primary school, equivalent to elementary. Was in a group of friends and this particular person hated me and started to spread rumors about me. Wrote a letter that basically cut me off the group and was ordered not to talk to the group because the other friends had signed the letter. And there the seed of depression grew. I had some friends who were always talking crap about me found out from another good friend, and one day I came to school in my brand new jeans that costed around €150 and they put glue on my chair while I was in the bathroom. I sat on it. I asked which one of them did it, none of them said a word. We went to the principal's office and these paws had the balls to say that I put it there to get them in trouble. Their parents were called and I earned around €200 and a new pair of jeans. Told a friend a secret in high school. I suffer from major depression and social anxiety, don't tell anyone, I am seeing a therapist. That took a lot for me to say. I was making progress. Friend proceeded to tell the entire class. People thought I was crazy. That's high school. I stopped being friends with the few friends I had. I was more alone. I graduated high school with 0 friends. Thanks. Don't worry though, in college I blossomed into a bearded man with no fears. Life has been swell ever since. Yeah, high school was a shit show for me too, whole lot of shitty people, backstabbing, just pettiness. So many of these stories are from high school bullshit. It's not at all surprising. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more Reddit stories like this.